Most people get absolutely blindsided when it comes to the true cost of living here in the Chicago suburbs. On average, families tend to underestimate their monthly expenses by upwards of $1,100 every single month when moving. Stick around because I'm breaking down the real numbers, the hidden costs no one tells you about, and how to avoid getting caught off guard when you're making a move here. And you don't want to miss the last one. And after selling homes here for over 3 years, I can tell you firsthand almost every client asks the same thing, and that's what does it actually cost to live here? I've helped families relocating from out of state, first-time buyers, and even lifelong Illinois residents who are shocked by these numbers. But for you who are new here and don't know me, my name is Jake Mesa, a Chicagoland realtor helping people just like you make smart moves in and around the Chicago suburbs. And whether your move is next week or next year, I'd love to partner with you on this journey. If at any point you want to talk through your specific situation, here's my email below, or click the link in the description to get connected. So where exactly are people miscalculating over $1,000 of monthly expenses? The first place is actually one of the smaller categories, but it adds up quick, and that's utilities. Most people moving to the Chicago suburbs are moving from a condo in the city or from out of state, and they're just not used to what it costs to run a full-size Midwestern house through all 4 seasons. Right now in DuPage County, the average electric bill alone is just over $200 per month, and that's just to keep the lights on and the air running in the summertime. In the winter, you add gas for heat, and it's very normal to see bills jump another $100 to $180 in the coldest months, depending on the size of home you're heating. Then you layer in water and sewer, which can often land in the $50 to $100 range, depending on which suburb you're in and the family size. Plus internet, which is usually somewhere between $60 to $100. And don't forget the garbage service that can also add on another $25 to $40 per month. When you put all that together, it's very common for a typical suburban household to pay somewhere between $400 to $600 a month just in utilities. And a lot of people come in budgeting maybe $250 to $300 because that's maybe what they're used to paying before, and that missing couple $100 becomes the first crack in their monthly budget. The next category that hits hard is groceries. But before we move on, if this video is helping you out so far, don't forget to hit the like button, as it tells YouTube I'm doing a good job and allows me to help more people just like you. Illinois is not cheap when it comes to food, and the spread is much wider than most people may expect. Depending on where you shop and how your family eats, one person's grocery cost can sit anywhere from the mid-300s to beyond $600 per month. So when you multiply that across a family of 4, you're realistically looking somewhere between $1,200 on the extremely low side, all the way up to $2,500 or more for families who shop organic, eat out a lot, and orders takeout often. Most families I work with end up right in the middle, somewhere around $1,400 to $2,000 a month once you factor in groceries, dinners out, school lunches, snacks, coffee, and weekend food. A lot of people moving here may plug somewhere around $800 to $1,000 for food, and that category alone ends up being another $400 to $800 higher than expected. Transportation is another sneaky one, especially if you're planning on moving from a big city where you may not be driving every day. Out here you're driving more. More errands, more commuting, more miles in general. And when you add up gas, highway tolls, insurance, and maintenance, the total cost is a lot higher than what you may expect. Most suburban drivers end up paying somewhere between $250 to $400 a month just to get around. And if there's 2 adults commuting separately, which is extremely common, the number jumps into the $500 to $800 range. This is one of those categories people don't think of as a cost of living, but once you're here driving 20 to 40 minutes a day, you really feel it. Now let's talk housing, because this is the part that almost everyone thinks they have already figured out, and yet is one of the areas where most people consistently get caught off guard. The biggest mistake buyers are making is focusing only on the mortgage payment they see online. They'll plug in a $500,000 home into a calculator, look at the number, and think, alright, we can afford that. But those quick estimates never tell the entire story. On a $500,000 home with 20% down at a realistic interest rate of 6.5%, your principal and interest payment alone is already sitting in the mid-2500s. And that's before we get into everything else that comes with owning a suburban home. Homeowners insurance typically adds another $100 to $150 a month. Then you have ongoing maintenance, which is something people massively underestimate, especially if you're buying a home that's 20, 30, or even 50 years old. Things like furnace, water heater, roof repairs, landscaping, and general wear and tear adds up quickly. And a safe monthly buffer for that is another $150 to $250 a month. Also keep in mind, if you're putting less than 20% down, you'll be required to pay a private mortgage insurance fee as well. So before property taxes are even in the picture, your real monthly housing expense is already closer to $2,800 to $2,900 a month. And the second we factor in taxes, which we'll get into in a moment here, that number jumps again. This is why relying on a quick online mortgage estimate creates false confidence for so many people moving here. Before we jump into the number one place where people get their numbers wrong, I want to take a quick moment to spotlight a tool that I use with all my clients. It's called Zenlist, and it gives you the most accurate, real-time home search experience available in the Chicagoland area. You'll see new listings the second agents post them, including private and coming soon properties that never hit the public sites. So if you want to take your search seriously and stay ahead of the crowd, click the link below and we'll get you signed up. By far the biggest shock for anyone moving to the Chicago suburbs is property taxes. Illinois has some of the highest property taxes in the country, and DuPage County has an average of around 2.16%. And when you turn that percentage into an actual monthly number, this is where reality really hits. On a $400,000 home, you're looking at roughly $700 a month. Bump that to a $500,000 home and you're right around $900 a month. A $600,000 home puts you closer to $1,000 every single month just in taxes. And remember, this stacks on top of all the other housing costs we just talked about. Your mortgage at today's rate is somewhere in the mid-2000s, and you add on $150 for insurance and $200 for maintenance. So when you add taxes on top of that, your total monthly housing cost jumps quickly. The problem is almost every online calculator hides this. They plug in national averages or outdated Illinois numbers, so buyers walk in thinking their property taxes will be $350 to $400 a month, and when they get their actual bill, they realize it's actually double that. And this is the category right here that pushes people hundreds of dollars every single month over their expected budget without understanding why. It's not because they were miscalculating anything, it's because they were never shown the actual suburban tax numbers in the first place. So let me put all this into one simple example so you can see exactly how all the numbers actually play out. Let's say you buy a $500,000 home in DuPage County. With realistic rates, your mortgage is around $2,500, your taxes are around $900 per month, insurance and maintenance add another $300, utilities sit around $400, food for a family of four is usually somewhere around $1,600, transportation for two commuters add another $500, and it all adds up. And your true monthly cost of living in a $500,000 suburban home is somewhere between $5,600 to $6,700 a month. And that's assuming nothing crazy happens, no furnace replacement, no car repairs, no major upgrades. This is exactly why people come in thinking they'll spend $3,000 a month, because that's what their mortgage calculator said, and reality hits and the true number is actually double that. My best advice for anyone moving here is simple. Before you fall in love with the home, get a full breakdown of your real monthly costs, not just what the mortgage payment will be. Anyone can afford a monthly number on paper, but living here comfortably is about understanding everything that comes with it. This means knowing your actual property taxes for that specific suburb, not just a generic estimate. It means understanding what utilities really cost through a full Midwest winter. It means being honest about what your family actually spends on food and not what you wish you spent. And it means calculating your real commute, the gas, the tolls, and the wear and tear on your car. The people who take the time to break all this down up front always end up feeling confident and prepared. They know what they're walking into and their move feels exciting instead of stressful. The people who don't, the ones who only look at the mortgage or rely on those quick online estimates, end up shocked 3 months after moving in when the bills start rolling in and everything is higher than they expected. And that's the last thing I want for anyone moving to the suburbs, especially because all this can be planned for ahead of time. So if this video helped you understand the real cost of living in the Chicago suburbs for 2025, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next video where we'll be breaking down the top 5 neighborhoods within the Chicago suburbs. I'm Jake Mesa, your Chicago suburb realtor, and I'll see you in the next video.